Let's get back under the hood of our Nissan Xterra. Welcome back to the Auto Obscure Garage. Chadwick with you again for another installment of Project Xterra. And that's our 2008 Nissan Xterra that you see behind me. We're getting back under the hood. We're gonna button some things up, put that intake manifold back on, replace that gasket. We're gonna take the throttle body off, thoroughly clean that, replace that gasket. Then we're gonna do the engine air filter. We're gonna clean the MAF while we have that all apart. That's an important free thing to do that will help fuel economy, perhaps engine performance if it's getting dirty. And then we'll end everything with a really high quality oil change. The Xterra definitely needs one based on that oil filter that says it's been changed a year ago. Yeah, not a fan of that. So let's get in the garage, get a little dirty. Here's our nice and cleaned up intake manifold on the ground in front of us. A couple more things we need to do to this. Those lower plenum gaskets that are underneath the runners right here, we're gonna replace those before we throw it back in. I'm also gonna take the throttle body off, clean it, replace that gasket right here. Not a bad idea to do that. I'm sure that's original. I'm sure it's a little gunky around the plate there, so we'll just take it off and just clean it up in there. Got a little can of throttle body cleaner. This will do a great job cleaning up that throttle body. Get the throttle body off, which is our first step in this project. You can use a size 4 hex bit, or a T30 Torx. Either one will work just fine. 4 little bolts, and we should be able to pull the throttle body right off. All right, let's pull our throttle body off. Yeah, she's a little dirty back there, so usually I like to just use a wire brush, get that throttle body cleaner going in there, clean up all that debris. Same with the intake manifold, you can clean that side. And that's where you see the gasket right here. That's what we'll be replacing. Okay, it's not art museum clean, but I did pop open this throttle plate a few times and clean in there really well. So looking a lot better. Smoother airflow through there, less gunk, less chance of this getting stuck. Yeah, I consider that pretty clean. All right, let's slap a new throttle body gasket in there. Should just be able to pull this tab out. Yeah, it's still pretty pliable, it's nice. New one should just kind of slot in there. Got a little tab at the top. Throttle body cleaned. Throttle body gasket replaced. Let's button that back up. Time to do these upper intake plenum gaskets. Got a replacement pack right here. And again, these don't feel bad at all. These are still nice and flexible, but hey, you never know. If you have this off, why not do it? It's not expensive at all. New gaskets on the intake plenum. All right, time to get this intake manifold back on the truck. That went on pretty smooth, actually. Now we gotta go ahead, walk around, make sure we do all our vacuum hoses, all our little connectors and everything. All right, let's get this intake manifold bolted down. I like to start with the nuts on the studs here. Got our intake manifold back on the truck. All our hose connectors are there, all our electrical connectors are there, and just go around. Make sure you didn't miss anything. It's easy to miss those large vacuum lines on the back. They're tricky to get to. That little bracket in the back that holds the wire loom and some other things is tricky to line up, but just get it all good, and it's pretty straightforward, just like when you took it off. So, intake manifold back on our truck. Let's put the rest back together. Before we put the intake back on and everything, let's go ahead and swap out this filter. It's a little gnarly underneath. It kind of looks clean until you get in the pleats and you see lots of debris, bugs, leaves, sections of, yeah, lots of pieces of stuff. So the other thing is, I don't know if you can see inside the box right now, but there is a lot of dirt here. And that's not good either, because that's just gonna go right back into the new filter we put in. So what I wanna do is get something like a little plastic scraping tool, get that loose, and then vacuum it all out. We wanna breathe some fresh air with our Nissan. Clearly it's done some off-roading now. Now that's more like it. That airbox is cleaned out, free of dirt and dry. We can put our new, we're going with a Bosch filter here. Perfect fit. With the air intake off of the truck, it's a good time to clean your MAF sensor. It's actually located right here. If it's still on the truck, you disconnect the connector here and you can still access it pretty easily. But since I have mine out, even better. So get a Phillips head screwdriver. You need some actual MAF airflow cleaner here. This stuff is really good. What you don't want to do is spray it and then drive it immediately. I like to do it, wait a little bit. It evaporates pretty quick, but what we're gonna do here, where I'm not putting the truck back together for a little bit, is the best case scenario. So I'll show you guys how to use it. 2 Phillips screws can remove the sensor. Pull the sensor right out, and this is what you should be looking at. Here's our mass airflow sensor, so you can see what you're actually cleaning is these little sensor parts inside of the unit. So you got some right there. And definitely on this back side. What can happen is you can just get some nasty stuff in there from dirty air going over it, pulling in that dirty engine air, and just, you know, build up over time. I've seen them really dirty. We have to clean them with a Q-tip, but I'm gonna avoid that this time and just use the spray and let it do its magic. But let's spray in each of those holes. And then we'll just go ahead and set it down somewhere where we can let it evaporate. And once we've cleaned the MAF and it's had time to dry, let's go ahead and install it back into our intake. It goes this way, so the openings over here will be in the airflow. The engine moves from here into the motor. So just go ahead. Should fit snugly right there. Mass airflow sensor, cleaned. Time to put the top of our airbox on with the cleaned MAF. And there's our MAF plug right there, in case you're wondering. Drop the rest of this airbox tracked in place. All right, the last of our little vanity covers under the hood. Gotta have those, you know. And look at that, our VQ40 is looking like it should under here. Heck yeah, that was a lot of work we did, but came out great. I think we're in a really good spot. I like how we perfectly hid all the work we just did, but we know everything under here, gasket wise, is good to go. No more valve cover leaks, no more VVT solenoid leaks, intake throttle body cleaned up, good stuff, right? So let's go ahead and do a little oil change on this truck. It's oil change time for the Xterra. So we've got our Valvoline Max Life High Mileage 5W30. You actually just need 5.4 quarts. I did get the extra 5 quart thing just to have with me on the adventure rather than buying just a single quart, because you never know what's going to happen. We have an original OEM Nissan oil filter down there with crush ring on top. Tools I like for this job, I love these claw oil filter removal tools. They just work better than anything else for me. We'll utilize that, and then I've got a 3/8 inch ratchet with a 14mm socket on it. And that'll get that oil plug out. Boom. Let's get under there and drain that oil. First things first, let's get that drain plug loosened up. Okay. Yeah, it's not the cleanest looking oil I've ever seen, but I've seen worse. All right, let's let that drain out. We'll get that oil filter off. There's our oil filter we're gonna pull off, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not too concerned about it having a 2025 date on it. That's not shocking at all. So yeah, 1 year old oil. Hopefully not a lot of mileage, but yep, let's replace that bad boy. Gotta love these oil filter locations that just drip right on the part of the frame here, but it's life. Let that come out and see where does that even go? Oh, right down the little water slide there. Fantastic. All right, we'll let that drain and we'll pull that off. Gotta love these designs where it has the little water slide for the oil, but the oil still drips all over the frame and drips down wherever it wants to. So, good times as always. It's pretty clean in there around the oil filter housing. So I'm pretty happy about that. Usually those can get pretty gnarly. I've seen them get crusty, but this one looks really good. So looks like this guy had some regular oil changes at some point in his life. I'm sure it'll be happy, that VQ40, to have some fresh oil in it.
As I was putting the new oil filter on, I noticed this bolt right here for the oil filter cooler housing was loose, like finger loose, and that's really scary because you could blow your oil out under pressure. That's a 22 millimeter bolt, just for those looking. Get a deep socket on your ratchet and tighten that to 36 foot-pounds. I guess after a bunch of oil changes, it will eventually work itself loose, and that's what happened here. So great thing I caught that. It spun off with just touching it with one finger. So I torqued that down to spec. We're good to go now, and we'll put that oil filter on. Whew, dodged a bullet that time. Goodbye, 1-year-old service champ no-name filter. We got our Nissan OEM one on there, nice and tightened down. Hand tightened only, guys. And we're good to go. Time to put the drain plug back in and add some oil to the Xterra. Okay, let's put a new crush washer on our drain plug. Install this back under our Xterra. Time to feed our Xterra the good stuff. Valvoline Max Life 5W30, 5.4 quarts. Oil change complete on the Xterra.